Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Marine Conservation Happy Hour. I am Dr. Scarlett Smash, your host. My co-host is here, Dr. Kraken. How you doing, Dr. Kraken? Isn't this exciting being here on live?
How are you doing? Yeah, this is great. This is great. This is very different. I actually had to get out of my pandemic clothes and wear a proper shirt and everything.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Speaking of that, I just want to give a few shout outs. Do you see this beautiful necklace? It's so beautiful, handmade. And we got this at AwesomeCon, Dr. Kraken.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking about AwesomeCon, in about a week's time?
Yes. Yeah, on the 21st, that episode will be coming out. And so this is actually made, you can find this on Etsy. This is from NowBraceYourself. And do you love my corset?
I need one of those actually to get my pandemic waist.
No, these are fantastic. This corset was actually made by Pendragon Costumes. Love them. I pretty much only get
they did your pirate dress.
A pirate dress. Even I have another corset, and I've got a black one coming, and I'm very excited about that too. But that's not why we're here, right, Dr. Kraken? We're here because we're having happy hour, having our drinks. What are you drinking right now?
I'm drinking now. This is one of my favorite. Put it in front of my face. There you go. One of my favorite meads from Grunfell Meadery.
Yeah.
They are a great sort of nice environmentally sustainable meadery, women run up in Vermont, and they deliver to your doorstep, which through the pandemic was an absolute lifesaver.
You love that. I mean, anything that can come to your doorstep, you love.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's like Christmas every day, and it's Christmas but with alcohol. So this one
I love it.
This one, it tastes just like ginger beer. So this also takes me back to when I was a kid, going to the beaches, pretending I was a member of the Famous Five, eating egg and cress sandwiches and drinking ginger beer, except this is very, very alcoholic. This one is flavored with maple. In fact, this very weekend, because it's Labor Day weekend as we're doing this, they're doing a sale. So if you go to Grunfell Meadery, you can actually get money off on this particularly delicious one. So highly recommend it.
Oh, yes. Excellent. Okay. Well, Dr. Kraken, this is what I'm drinking, and this isn't a spare bottle. Yeah, I am outrageous. I have Snoop Dogg's rosé.
I want to put
19 crimes. And I feel like maybe in this corset is one crime. Anyways, this is awesome. I can't wait. Dr. Kraken, we're going to talk about if we were going to write Aquaman 2. Okay. Yes. Because we were disappointed with Aquaman 1.
Yes. Yeah. We did an episode linked to AwesomeCon about the science of Aquaman, which you can find online at the end of September. We'll be talking about the 23rd bad science
of September will be coming out.
Yes. So it'll the science was really bad, but also just the movie. We just thought it was a missed opportunity.
I couldn't even finish it. I know I watched it last night and I just couldn't even. The beginning is wonderful. I love the story. I love the richness of it. I love the bond with him and his father. I mean, I love how gorgeous Jason Momoa looked.
Well, I bet you freeze framed him as he came out of the water.
Did you saw that scene, right? Like, permission to come aboard. And I was like, oh, yes. Yeah, permission for sure. Absolutely. That was classic. That was classic. But again, like once it started becoming the fighting scenes, like halfway through the movie, I was losing it. It was just like splashing here and there, fighting there. It was just like chaos. And I was kind of disappointed that you kind of lost that richness and the story behind it, because it was just fighting for, I felt like 40 minutes.
Yeah, it was like watching a computer generated cartoon with no plot, lots of bangs and crashes. And I'm ADHD, so I just found it really distracting.
Oh,
I just couldn't concentrate
totally.
on it at all. And
Mm-mm.
I just lost interest.
Me
I mean,
too.
I'd also, the poor science was also really, really irritating me,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
I mean, to get to the bottom of the Mariana Trench, that's gonna, like Michael Phelps speeds, that's gonna take him about 2 hours,
Yes.
although that'll be pretty
So
boring
what
movie.
will
But
we do?
oh,
One thing, can we just have, I would rather have Aquawoman in the next
oh,
one. Okay. Because
you know,
Jason Momoa is getting
Aquawoman.
older, and I don't know if he's going to look as fabulous in Aquaman too. So let's just get a gorgeous one.
Have you seen that ad where he takes off his muscles and he takes off his wig and he's like this skinny bald guy?
I mean, to look fabulous, you got to have a little bit of fakeness, right? Yeah, right. Anyways, let's move on. What would the world be like, Dr. Kraken?
Well, what I would do is I would move away from this CGI generated, super fast paced movie. And I really like the DC comic stuff that's done on like WB and the Titans and Doom Patrol, the Arrow, the Flash, where Legends of Tomorrow, where it's more about the characters and it's not so much about the bangs and crashes. It's about the humor.
Yes.
The stories and the plots are funny as well. I mean, Legends of Tomorrow can be absolutely hilarious. They just did like a Cluedo episode when they go into a clue game. So and the actors are really good. You know, it's really three-dimensional characters. The bad guys have got shades of gray, and sometimes the bad guys become the good guys. Sometimes the good guys become the bad guys. So it's a little bit like a Buffy or Angel. So I would go like that. I would just take Aquaman.
You love Buffy. Let's get over it. You want Buffy to come back all over again.
Oh, that would be awesome. Buffy, the Next Generation. So I would just move Aquaman off of the big screen.
Okay.
And Jason Momoa he did Stargate. He's doing a show called C. He did Frontiers. He did a whole bunch of TV shows. So in addition to Game of Thrones, I would just pull Aquaman off the big screen, put it on the small screen, and then have a serial where you could really concentrate on the characters, the backstory, and make the episodes about environmental issues or issues of our time,
I mean,
like water resources.
I agree with that, but there's a few things that I really actually liked. By like when they were announcing that all the ships and all the trash were coming back to them, they were like, "Hey, they're bringing back our trash." Yeah, let's keep that. I want to keep that. Okay, so we're going to keep that. Another thing that I'd like to improve on is the underwater sea like world. That was kind of disappointing. I mean, I feel like all of us are full of imagination, and all of us were kids, and we were like, "Oh, would we have domes? I mean, like, what would it be like?" I mean, I feel like Little Mermaid had a better world than Aquaman when it came to like the underwater world.
Or 20,000 Leagues Beneath the Sea, like a sort of a steampunky, futuristic type world, or something organic like Alien, where you know it's all sort of organic and looks like it was grown.
Oh yeah,
coral
and different. I feel like different skin. Let's not have the human looking image. Let's make them look like what is that? I can't even remember that really like sci-fi Disney show. Oh my gosh, I wish we had people that were helping us. You know, the one that's at Disney, and it's like, oh, I don't know. I can't even remember. And it was blue. She was like a blue woman. She was a blue woman, and she jumped up on all these like mushrooms. There were like colored mushrooms.
Oh, Avatar.
Avatar. Yes, that's it.
Yes,
that's
Avatar.
it. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
yes.
Avatar 2 is actually going to be Avatar underwater. So I'm looking forward to that because James Cameron knows his ocean science.
Yeah.
So I have fingers crossed.
Okay.
That's actually going to be pretty good because I heard
that's what I want.
I heard some of the stories about it, and it sounds like he really sort of tried to think about what this alien maritime marine world would be like. So,
exactly. And that's what I'm saying. You want those details. I feel like you want to I want to feel like I'm there, and that I want to leave this dry land and come and meet them. You know what I mean? And just really feel it. Kind of like how Harry Potter, you know, in Harry Potter, you're so embraced in this world and you're like,
immersive.
I want to visit again, please immerse me into this world.
Yeah. And again, in this sort of super fast movie format, you can't get that. Whereas in a TV show, you could really think, oh, wouldn't that be cool just to live there? I mean, even Star Wars, the Gungan city, although the Gungans were somewhat problematic and kind of racist too. But their bubble city, that was really sort of well thought out. So why not have sort of a bubble city like, or a coral city, or floating raft cities, and really think about how these sorts of things would
because
work.
I didn't like that they had so much structure. It was basically like humans in the water. They were, and here is the thing, you could see that there was major like concrete structures that was in Aquaman. Did you notice that? It was literally concrete structures. It wasn't coral reef that was around them. Or, you know, it wasn't sea grass or like seaweed or anything like that. And I feel like that would look so much better.
You know what?
Or caves, underwater caves.
Oh yeah, underwater caves, absolutely. So volcanic caves they carve out, or now, I was just thinking what would be kind of cool. We were talking about reminiscence and how that was flooding Miami.
I do love that.
Why not sort of just push it a little bit into the future, like 20 years into the future?
And
into
give
a
some
world
background on
oh
yes, I love this.
A world which has been submerged in places by climate change,
and it's being taken over by all the coral reefs again, and fish are living and everything.
So it's like Waterworld, kind of like Waterworld, but more scientifically realistic. And you could talk, you know, this sort of speculative fiction about what happened to the world.
Who was starring in Waterworld again?
Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner's daughter actually ended up working for a marine conservation charity. So the family were really into marine conservation. So she went off and worked with Luis Hoyos, the guy who did The Cove.
Oh yeah. No, I love Kevin Costner, especially in Robin. I could do it all the time. The way that she like expressed when she was screaming out to Robin, so then she could get rescued by him. And I was like, I could be that dramatic.
Oh, I mean, Robin, Prince of Thieves. Maid Marian comes in and it's like this ninja.
Oh, true.
And then she spends the rest of the movie as this damsel in distress in a dress.
Well,
so
that was because...
What happened to the ninja?
Well, that's because Kevin Costner was really, really good looking. And she was like, well, I'm going to pretend that I need his help so we can get a next date. Anyways, let's continue on with this world. Okay. What would our plot be?
Yeah, I would go...
Because I really hated the whole plot about, you know, this whole fight against the worlds. I'm not a fan of that.
You know, I'm really liking the idea of this sort of post-apocalyptic, slightly in the future, climate changey world now. So I'm kind of thinking of changing what I was going to suggest some sort of like political issues about coastal boundaries and the Arctic. You know, the fight over the Arctic about shipping routes and oil exploration and
that's good.
Talk about
I like
oil
the idea of
and
fisheries.
What pirate fisheries could be a good one. Big industrial pirate fisheries sort of connect in with that whole Seaspiracy
I could see like octopuses coming up onto the ship and just like throwing off the men off of the fishing ships and
rescuing the slaves who were forced to work on those ships.
Oh, I love that idea.
You know, the slaves who were forced to work on these ships in Indonesia and Southeast Asia, rescuing them and taking them back, rescuing refugees going across the Mediterranean or escaping from areas. One idea I had, this is actually...
This story is getting so good. It's getting so good. This needs to... Now it's not a movie. It's a series.
It's a series.
It's a TV series. We just made it a TV series. And this is why it's happy hour.
Now, I had a dream a couple of years ago about a James Bond movie where Pierce Brosnan, because Pierce Brosnan was like still is a big fan of marine conservation and whale protection. And in my dream, he was investigating this series of mass strandings of whales.
Ooh.
And it turned out there was this secret submarine fleet that was being prepared, and they were using sonar because it was a secret fleet. It had like the old types of sonar that was killing whales. And so he investigated this and then found out this sort of secret undersea base. You could have something similar like that. So whales and turtles are stranding en masse. What's behind it? Well, it's this drug cartel that are using old Russian submarines or something to smuggle drugs. So he deals with this cartel or spies or something like that. They're trying to get oil in a particular area. So to do that, they're setting up some sort of environmental disaster.
And we'll definitely have
you could do.
Seals, and we'll have dolphins that be our spies.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what's the point in being able to talk to fish unless you can use like mako sharks or octopus? I mean, if you could talk to marine life, I would be getting octopuses to do like all my dirty work because they can squeeze through those little holes.
They can multitask.
Absolutely, go in.
They'd be my highest paying like employee.
Imagine an octopus going in hacking with like 8 tentacles.
Ooh, I do like
super intelligent octopi.
Okay,
hacking.
yeah. Okay, so they're the IT. They're the super hacker in our series.
And of course, you need penguins. You need penguins because
but then we're talking about areas. Then we do have to be in the right area.
Yeah.
To make sure that we're fact checking,
Well, there could be, if you were in the Southern Ocean, there could be a sort of thing about mineral rights in the Southern Ocean and Antarctica.
Whaling.
There's this international treaty to make sure there's no military activity and to make sure there's no mining. So there could be some suspicious stuff going on with illegal underwater mining in Antarctica. And then you could bring in penguins and leopard seals and killer whales to help find this secret underwater mining, kind of like the underwater mining bases in the abyss or underwater. So you can have all this darkness, and that'll be really easy to film because all you need is like a tank and make it dark. So you could recycle some of James Cameron stuff.
Who's our comic relief? Because in every movie there's a comedian,
Jack
right?
Black.
Okay, no, I love it. You're like, I already know who's going to be the voice. No. I'm talking about like a sea creature, because if you actually look at them, they're like usually cute little dopey fish, coral reef fish, or they're a sea turtle, or they're a bird, like the seagull in Little Mermaid. And so if we're going to have it in the South, then I feel like we're kind of missing out on a lot of the coral reef species that would probably be that comic relief. So now we have to think about that. What are we gonna do?
I think the comic relief, you'd probably have to have either seabirds or octopi or marine mammals, because you need something that could be potentially on the land and potentially in the water, maybe a crab. So I kind of like the idea of like Ricky Gervais and Stephen Marchant as well, from the British Office, and they could be bickering.
Okay, but that's definitely like a crab kind of personality.
Yeah, I can see like Ricky Gervais being a Krusty Krab.
You know what I mean? There's like some cute and cuddly thing that you just love, that you fall in love with.
Why not go for a seal?
Like Dora. Oh, no. Yeah, right. Dory. There you go.
Dory, yeah. Go for a seal, because then they can be on the land. They can be in the sea. They're not quite so limited. And a cunning, an octopus who's thinks they're much smarter than they really are.
Oh.
So they think like they're
Okay.
super genius, and they're actually kind of getting into trouble all the time. That's yeah, I kind of like that idea.
Love this. This is excellent. And I feel like we can continue to build off of this. And if anyone else has some ideas, please put it in the comment section. And I feel like we could do a whole nother session about this and just build off of it. And then maybe we could try to propose it. Yeah.
I
think
yeah.
so.
Aquaman, the TV, because we've gone away from Aquaman 2 now. Let's just give up.
Yeah, totally
with
done.
that computer generated.
Yeah.
Let's go CW, Aquaman, the TV series. Jason Momoa, of course, continuing as Aquaman. Who would his love interest be?
I'm done. I don't do love interests in movies. Sorry. I'm over that. I don't like the romance in movies.
Yeah, if there's a female character, it should be like a strong female equal or competition or something. So it's not just there to be on his arm.
I want both individuals to be completely fine on their own, happy on their own. They can be friends and, different genders, you know what I mean? Like, I've never liked it. I've never really liked romance movies. And I think that's why I loved Game of Thrones, because it was like, not everything was off, romance, right? And I think it ruins it when there's like, oh, these two are gonna get together at the end. Oh my gosh, so boring.
Is that like a show?
Is that real life?
Where the sort of two characters are just like really good friends.
Yeah,
just like really good friends, really good mates.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Dr. Kraken, thank you so much for being here live. We will do this again next Saturday, actually. And then we have a guest. We have Jason Lerma, who is actually from Cascadia Research. And he does a lot of detective work with drones, answering lots of hard questions that we cannot answer when we're just doing boat surveys. So he is a whole bunch of fun, and he will be live with us next Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern time.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Cascadia does some fantastic
research.
My
gosh, they do. And I can't wait to have them on the Marine Conservation Happy Hour for sure. All right, Dr. Kraken, thank you so much for joining me. And thank you everyone for listening to us, and happy conservation.